What's up, everybody? In this video, I'm going to share with you some of the best places in the world to go to build a high-value network while traveling or living there as an expat. Because if you're anything like me, there's nothing worse than going to a place, showing up, and it just doesn't fit your vibe at all. Because when I go to a place, I want to meet people who are like-minded. Whether they're locals or expats, I want to meet ambitious people who are go-getters, who are driven, and who want to achieve the most out of their life. So I'm going to share with you some of the places I've been over the last 10 years that these things hold true. So if that interests you, stick around and let's go ahead and get on into it. Now, the first one that I'm going to talk about is actually a place I haven't been, although my dad lives there. And it is undoubtedly a great place to do this because it is essentially why it is famous, and this would be Dubai. So obviously, a lot of people move to Dubai because of the low tax nature of Dubai, and it generally caters to a very specific group of people. So if you want to build a high value network, Dubai is probably a great option for that. Singapore is probably another really good option. But let's talk about some other places that aren't so talked about. And obviously, we're not just going to look at like millionaire migration or things like that, because if you're going to somewhere like China, for example, you're going to need to be able to communicate with these people. So, unless you know Chinese, you're probably not going to be able to build a high value network there. So there are some other considerations, and that's something to think about in Dubai. You're mainly building a global network because Dubai is, I don't know, like 90% foreigners and not people from the UAE. And so a lot of people are going to speak English there. But with that in mind, let's take a look at some alternatives that I have personally noticed. So, one great option, Warsaw, Poland. I notice a lot of wealthier people spend a decent amount of time in Warsaw. Now, I will say Warsaw specifically because if you look at the networking opportunities, that is mostly concentrated in Warsaw. That is generally the place that is going to have the most business savvy people, the most ambitious people. I'm not saying that there aren't other ambitious people in Poland. Obviously, they are all over the place, but the highest concentration is certainly going to be in Warsaw. I will also say, if you look at migration patterns, quite a lot of wealthier Polish people leave Poland and live elsewhere in Europe. I'm pretty sure that has to do with the weather, but I certainly cannot speak for everybody. And so, one thing I would say is if you are interested in building that network, I would probably focus on Warsaw in the warmer months because, once again, a lot of people leave Warsaw in the colder months, which is frankly most of the year. Then another place that I would say is surprisingly filled with higher value people and opportunities is going to be a place like Bangkok. I've noticed quite a few entrepreneurs get their start in Bangkok, and I've seen a lot of growth in Bangkok. And I've even heard of quite a few people leaving Dubai for a place like Bangkok as well because it fits their lifestyle a little bit more. So, in my opinion, Bangkok is another really great option to build a high value network. Then, a couple other places that I personally like are going to be Portugal, Greece, and Spain. Now, once again, we aren't going to be like spending a bunch of time on millionaire migration patterns, but a significant number of millionaires do migrate to Greece, Portugal, and Italy. So if I said Spain earlier, I meant Italy and not Spain. Don't know why I said Spain. But those are three places that would kind of shock you based on just like their overall tax schemes. And they aren't really known for the entrepreneurial business vibe, but a lot of wealthier people tend to move to those places because the overall lifestyle in those places is pretty much unmatched anywhere else in the world. And so, for those reasons, it makes it a really intriguing place to go if you're interested in building that high value network, because once again, there are a lot of people who are ambitious and driven moving to these places, not just because they have a relatively low cost of living, but because they have great value for their money in the sense that you can live a really amazing high quality life and get that great lifestyle. So those are some places that I would highly recommend if you are interested in doing the things that I said at the beginning of this video. And with all that said, we are going to wrap it up here. I will see you guys in the next video. If you have any questions, leave them down below. If you have any other spots that you would recommend, then also leave those down below. And I will see you guys in the next video. And as always, peace, much love.